cheering and doing gymnastics, acrobatics and tumbling is a mixture of both. That started that kill or be killed mindset, like the thrill of the hunt.
What is the biggest challenge that comes with doing an underrepresented sport?
That people don't think it's a sport. But it's like, I don't even have to prove anything to you, because can you do what I do? I need people to know that if you're doing this sport, you have to have guts, confidence, and a passion, and you have to be selfless. But my sister, Aaliyah Moore, went to Monmouth University. She really is my biggest inspiration, because she showed me what it looked like to have faith without seeing it. You fake it till you make it. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. I know that I have that leadership. It's just in me. I can't control it. So me coming here, I knew I was coming here to definitely leave an impact.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Echoes of the Yard for our last episode. I'm your host, Kendyl Terrell, a soccer player at Jackson State University, and this podcast is all source HBCU. From the guests to the topics, the good and the bad, we're here to talk about it all. For the 16th episode, I'm joined by Alicia Moore, who does acrobatics and tumbling at Morgan State. Wow, which is the only HBCU program in the country to do this. I give all applause to you. So tell me a bit about yourself. Give me some about your background, your upbringing, where you're from, some hobbies.
Oh yeah, I got you. Well, hey y'all, it's good to be here. I hope all is well with everyone that's listening. So I'm from Manchester, New Jersey, born in the Garden State. Fun fact, I love to garden. I love cooking. That's one of my hobbies. I went to culinary school when I was in high school, so I had the opportunity to do vocational school. And my sister did hair and makeup, and my brother did engineering a little bit. And I was I just had such a passion for cooking, and I did that. And that's one of my hobbies. I cook every single day. I'm obsessed with it. But,
I love that you said that, because I'm actually bake. I started my own company called Kenny's Creations, and I literally love to bake. So, hey, if you ever want to, get together, open up a restaurant.
I like a collab. I love the collab.
Tell me about your family, though.
My family, oh wow, the family tree. Oh, I miss them so much. But so my mom and my dad are from New Jersey. My dad is from Manchester, and my mom was from Lakewood, which they're 15 minutes apart. And then they decided to have my sister Danae, Damien, Aaliyah, and then I'm the baby. The last of an era.
I'm the baby Aaliyah, 2 of 4.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Come on, twin.
Come on.
Come on, twin. But my sister, Aaliyah Moore, went to Monmouth University, full ride for soccer. And she really is my biggest inspiration, because she showed me what it looked like to have faith without seeing it. And her walk of life, she tore her Achilles. I tore my Achilles. She had a comeback story. I have a comeback story. So it's really all my siblings have all that. They have so many good qualities that make me a better person. Yeah. So that's really my background, my family.
So did you always have a cheer background?
Yes. I've been cheering for 17 years.
Wow. And how old are you?
20.
Oh, so since you were 3. That's actually so cute. So why did you get into acrobatics and tumbling?
To be honest, the scholarship money. At first, I always told myself I would never tumble on dead mat. I don't want to get injured. And there was a time in my life where I tore my labrum on my shoulder my freshman year of college, and I was on an all-star team, World Cup Shooting Stars. And that's where my career really shifted. That's where being famous in the cheer industry and being a impact to everyone really started. And I was supposed to go to Felician University, which is up north in New Jersey. And the offer was great. It was cool, but I knew God had a bigger calling for me personally. And I had my surgery, and my teammate that I knew from World Cup signed to Morgan for the first historical Black college acro team.
Come on.
So she's texting me. I said, don't make me transfer, because I was already in the portal to transfer. So then Regina Smith, the head coach, called me and literally was like, hey, come down to Baltimore. I went with my family in a sling, and the energy and the dream, anyone that has a dream that speaks about it, I'm interested, because I have a dream too. So hearing her morals, her values in the dream, and seeing what she saw in me was yeah, I'm in. I'm here. So yeah.
So did you always want to attend an HBCU?
No, I never even thought about it. Never thought about it. I came from a predominantly white area where that's all I knew. And I would definitely say it was a culture shock. I came here, I was just I'm Alicia, I'm here. But like I had to develop and learn myself. And that's what I would say I love about HBCUs is that you get to really be in the real world. Because
Yeah.
in my area where I'm from, Manchester, New Jersey, like I'm usually the only black on the team or there's none. So
Yeah.
it was just like different having like a sisterhood of African American women that had the same dreams, same morals. But then you also got to think about personalities. How do those
Yeah.
match? So, yeah.
So did the decision to go to Morgan State feel like it was made for you since it's like the only one in the HBCU program?
100%. I was just like, I heard so much great things about Morgan State, but then I wasn't even just thinking about my athletic career. I was thinking about my education. Like, I'm a multimedia platform production major, and I want to be in that industry. They're one of the best. They have the best media team, like in the MEAC. Everyone looks at Morgan, always like, what's their next step? So it
Yeah.
was really a business move after that. Yeah.
So, you mentioned like being like one of the only ones, or like not even having one on a team. Like, I definitely can relate to you on that because I play soccer. I'm in a predominantly white sport.
Yeah.
I definitely like went to three different colleges. Like Jackson State is my third. It's my third year here, and I've experienced going to PWIs.
Mhm.
And I just want to like, what was it like to realize that you were the one that only stood out because you were athletic, the only one to stand out because you were different. Like people knew you because you were basically the oddball. Like for me, I'm really tall. Like I'm 6'2". People always think I play volleyball or basketball. So like to be a soccer player, it's like my voice. It's like being
Yeah.
able to show other African American women that even though this wasn't built for us,
Yeah.
we're gonna make it into what it will forever be. So like that's how I look at it. So what was it for you that made you like, okay, like I have to do this for every other girl that don't think they can?
It was bigger than me. That's what I was thinking. Like I've always been like told like you're so mature, you're so developed. Like thank you God that he put that in me, but it was bigger than me. It wasn't just about an opportunity to be on the first historical black college for acrobatics and tumbling. It was about what can people say about training that is so great? Like what can you leave here? And how
Yeah.
can you change? A lot of people say this is also like my biggest thing. It's like, oh, it's just the HBCU life. It's just an HBCU. And then like they complain about predominantly white schools having this, that, and the third, but then we're at an HBCU. It's just like how come we can't have people that come from predominantly white schools impact and I wouldn't say change, but I'm gonna say change today. Change everything we're complaining about. So it was
Yeah.
just like I know that I have that leadership and I know I have it's just in me. Like I can't control it. So like
Yeah.
me coming here, I knew I was coming here to like definitely leave an impact.
Yeah, choosing my HBCU, it was definitely a statement for me as well. I I say choose my HBCU, but I feel as though my HBCU went and grabbed me and was like, "You're supposed to be here."
Right.
Like
Right.
it was like, "Hey, girl, we've been waiting for you to come here, and make a statement." Like I definitely feel as though like when more Black women realize like coming to a HBCU is not like, oh, it's not easier because it's gonna be hard as hell. Like I
Yeah.
can't lie, I've gone through the worst shit of my life at my HBCU, but I would
Oh
never
yeah.
change it. I would never change it.
I got my car stolen.
Come
I've
on.
had problems at this school, financial aid been playing.
Come
But like
on.
and
No
also
housing.
let
Oh,
me be real with you, Rope. I'm gonna be real. I'm very real. It's like we don't get the attention we deserve because we're not football, basketball. We're not bringing money to the school. So until
100%.
this season, when we show every single person, this is why you should invest into us now, it's going to be hilarious to watch. Like, obviously, we love you, but it's like, I wish you saw the bigger picture before. And it's
Yeah.
not always about, like, I feel like for HBCUs, it's about, like, when it comes to sports, who's packing the stands, who's getting the most commotion,
Mhm.
and who can they focus on. Where
Yeah.
I feel like it really wasn't accepted that we were a real team. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people don't even know what acrobatics and tumbling is. And it
Yeah.
wasn't broadcasted to its full potential, especially last year being the first all girl year. And this is our
Mhm.
second year where I feel like this is honestly our first year because now people are like, oh, acro, this, or that. You should have been on that time where we were. So I
Yeah.
feel like at our HBCU, if we're not football, basketball, or track, a man dominated sport,
Mhm.
where they take them more serious than the women that should be more respected.
Exactly.
It's like of course we're going to be in your ear. Of course we're going to be saying this. Of course we're
Yeah.
going to be on your tail. Because it's like, no, like, we are more, I would say we're more important. But this sport, first of all, Morgan State is a MEAC school.
Mm-hmm.
We compete in the NCATA. No one else does.
No one else does that.
No one else does that. And it's the first historical Black college in the world.
Yeah. Like, and you, oh my gosh, you say that, and it's just so crazy how, like, we are living two different lives, but I feel as though we kind of have the same story in the sense, my first year at Jackson State, we won it all. We won the SWAC championship. We won the regular season. We went and we got that thing. And it's like, we were celebrated for 1 or 2 days. Boom, we were forgotten. Like, it was just, it was like, congratulations, you finally won a SWAC championship in the first time for 9 years. But okay, it doesn't matter. We're on to the next. And I feel as though when we achieve that, it's just like the appreciation is so different because like we were the first women's team to actually take that SWAC championship that year. And it was like, it was so surreal. Like, I can't lie, I'm not really a big crier, but when that whistle was blown, oh my God, like tears just started flowing because it was like, it's so much bigger. Like, it's so much bigger than just me and my teammates and my coach. Like, it's for every single, it's for me when I didn't think I had a voice, when people labeled me as an aggressor on a predominantly white sport just because I cared more. My passion was mistaken for anger. Yes. And like, I know you've experienced it. I know you've experienced your passion get misinterpreted by so many people. And like, I just, that feeling of that moment is just like, we're here, we've been here, and like, we deserve to be heard. So how would you rate your overall experience at Morgan?
My overall
as a student, 1, 2, 3. We'll get to athlete. As a student,
can I rate this year? Like, so
yeah,
far?
yeah.
I
You
have
can
to
just
rate it an 8. I have to rate it an 8. I rated an 8 because academically I'm eating them up. Like, I'm so dedicated. I'm no crumbs left. Like, it's so much easier this semester because I'm more established and I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, I have a plan. And when I'm in the classroom, the reason why I rated it 8 is because I'm vocal, I'm myself, and I'm applying everything I learned on the outside inside the classroom, not just on the mat. Like, a lot of student athletes only focus on the field, the track, or the mat. What's gonna happen when it's gone? Like, I tore my Achilles last semester. Like, I came in here hot and ready, like, oh, Morgan State, like, we about to do this. Tore my labrum, recovered from that, got back, tore my Achilles. So I had to think about a different plan. I had to be like, all right, Alicia, this is the reality. You have an extra redshirt year. You'll be back next year, but what are you going to do now? So I rated an 8 because, like, I'm really locked in.
Yeah. And I love that because I messed up my knee. I was out for 9 months. I had surgery on it. And like, just hearing you say, like, you have to find your identity outside your sport is so important because I feel as though that's why a lot of student athletes struggle with mental health nowadays, is because like for a long time their sport is who they are, but that's not it. Like, it's, your sport isn't who you are. You make your sport. Like, every time you step on that field, they remember who you are, not that you're playing soccer. Like, it's, or doing your sport or doing whatever you're doing. Like, and identity is so important. I'm so glad you dabbled into that. But how would you rate your overall experience at Morgan State as an athlete, though?
As an athlete, it's like, it's different. Maybe I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
2 8s. We love it.
Yeah, we got 2 8s. We're making 16 now. We even.
Yeah. So why would you rate it an 8?
Because, like, I don't know. I notice within myself, I get different respect from other people in athletics, where other people don't receive that and they talk about it with me, and I can't relate. So I give it an 8 because everyone I work with their intentions are pure, they're fun, they're caring, and they're passionate, and they don't want anything else but success. So that's why I rated an 8, and it could be a 10, but not until I get that championship.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. It definitely gives you like a different appreciation for it once you finally win it, and once you finally get to say like, no, like, we did this. You know what I'm saying? But how have you grown as an athlete since your college sports career?
Oh, I've grown a lot. I feel like everyone expects like when people see me on social media, they just think my life is just this, but
Yeah.
it really be like that. So
Yeah. Up and down, up and downs.
yeah, like overall, can you repeat that question one more time?
How have you grown as an athlete since beginning your college sports career?
Mm. I had to watch film and I had to do my history. Like I had to go back and it actually started for me doing a project on my coach because she was one of the founders of acrobatics and tumbling, like the name.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I wanted to call it stunt, not stunt and tumble. It was some name. And she was like, A comes first in the alphabet. How about acro and tumbling? So it started with the knowledge of that history, how serious I was about it. Like there was times since I tore my Achilles, I had so much time. I would watch meets until like 3 in the morning. I would wake
Yeah.
up. I'm writing stuff down, like studying. Like right now, presently, I I'm so ahead of my recovery period where I'm getting skills that I shouldn't have for another like 4 months. I shouldn't be doing the stuff I'm doing, but I feel fine. Like yeah,
Yeah.
there's aches and pains, but I've grown also in being a teammate, and it's different here. Like where I was originally from, I was a captain. I had to be on top, and I had to say certain things, and also
Mhm.
your coaches would look at you because you're the only black girl or the third black girl on the team. They expect you. They look at you like, and then you have no option but to do it. But here, I didn't have to. Like I feel like just being yourself and just scouting and reading the room is where I've grown as like an athlete.
I love that. And you mentioned growing as a teammate. And one thing I can relate to is growing as a teammate. Like I've mentioned before in one of the episodes that I lost my dad when I was 15.
Sorry.
And it genuinely changed my perspective on life, about people. Like I built this wall. Like trust was a very hard thing for me, but the people that I've met here and that stayed when I pushed and pushed and pushed, like I will be forever grateful for. Like I
Yeah.
have some teammates on my team, Harper Bennett, Olivia Cobb, Rebecca Jameson. I'm shouting them out because like they
Yeah.
stayed when I pushed and pushed and pushed. Like they were like, we're not going anywhere. And just them staying for me and telling me that I'm someone worth fighting for, and my coach like believing in me and knowing the grieving process, it takes time. And like, yes, you're angry, but we're here to accept you, good, bad, and ugly. Like I
Yeah.
had to develop as a teammate as well. I was like, oh wow, like people can care about you. People can care about you through your worst and your best times. Like it's not
Yeah.
all about your sport. And like for you to express that and say like I'm not the only one growing as a teammate, like it means so much, because
Yeah.
for a while I thought I was alone. And like just going into my 5th year, it's just been so hard. It's been so hard to find that passion and that determination to keep going.
Yeah.
And for you to come back after your injury and be like, F that injury, I'm coming
Yeah.
back even better than I was before,
100%.
is amazing. And like that just shows, that just separates you from average to a dog. Like you either
Yeah.
kill or be killed. And like that's how I go about life.
That's my
And like,
mentality. Like
come
as a
on.
I grew up in a household where like for my dad used to box, my mom used to bowl, and my mom used to do every sport back in the day.
Yeah.
And we were always active growing up. Like I did karate, I did bowling, track, gymnastics, cheer, all of it, and same things for my siblings. And I remember this one time I was trying to learn how to play basketball with my brother, and I was trying to guard like, and he was like, "Alicia, you do that again, I'm gonna run you over like it's football." And that day, it was hilarious. The video, I still have the video to this day. It's funny,
I'm gonna
but
need that
that
video.
was crazy. Oh yeah, girl, I got you. I'm gonna send it to you. But like after watching the video, that started that killed or be killed mindset, like the thrill of the hunt, and also being
Yeah.
in the World Cup and being a captain and a leader and a role model. That was the atmosphere. Like there was no mediocrity was never in like
Never
you couldn't
choice.
like if you were to even think to go halfway, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had to figure that out here as a teammate, and also being uncomfortable with not being comfortable. Like I had
Yeah.
to understand that. Like I had to put myself in situations where I had to communicate with my team like, hey, I need to work on my deliverance, and I need to work on my demeanor, because my face gonna say it before I do.
Oh,
And I know
100%. Me
that
too.
maybe could affect you. So like
Yeah.
I like me communicating is better than me staying quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to learn
And
that.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. See, like me, like walking away and like not blowing up because like, oh
Mm.
my gosh, my tongue is very sharp and it's just kind of like I'll just say exactly what comes to my head and I just won't care. So like me walking away and then being like, hey, like this is where I messed up on and I'm gonna work on like being better as a teammate for you and for me. So what should people know about acrobatics and tumbling as a sport?
I would say that acrobatics and tumbling is going to change
Mm.
this year moving forward. Ever since we stepped foot into the sport, if you look back at the history of acrobatics and tumbling, Baylor University has, I believe, 9 or 10 titles undefeated when it
Yeah.
comes to nationals. And when we started the acrobatics and tumbling team, they recruited more Black people. They try to become more diverse.
Yeah.
So just to know that it's going to be competitive, and to know that these girls are locked in. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think I can pick a football player off Morgan State's football team and be like, come do this. Like, you have to
Yeah.
have, I need people to know that if you're doing this sport, you have to have guts, confidence, and a passion, and you have to be selfless. Because
Yeah.
in cheerleading, your 2 minute and 30-second routine, you're going fast paced. Sometimes you can get away with being sloppy. Sometimes you can get away with not sticking your tumbling. Where in acro, everything's seen. There's
Hmm.
6 categories to the meet where you're doing the same thing as your other competitor and who's doing it better.
Yeah.
So just to really, like, if you're interested, to really learn about
Mhm.
it, like look it up, watch a meet, like show up to a meet. You never know. Like, it's actually really interesting once you get involved.
No, I love that you said that. And you were talking about you basically like you have to get out there and you have to want it. My
Yeah.
coach says this thing all the time. You have to want to be able to struggle. You have to
Yeah.
struggle and you have to suffer through through your sport. You know you're really committed when you're able to suffer for your teammates. And like
Mhm.
I'm already knowing because I don't know if gymnastics and acrobatics and tumbling are kind of on the same level. But man, them girls, I'd be like, I give all my praise because I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Like how y'all be
Training's
bending
different.
and like turning and flipping. I'm like, oh no, like
Yeah, like even a football player today in physical therapy, I was getting my right Achilles is like a little sore right now, and I tore my left one. And he was like, what does cupping do? And I was telling him what cupping does, and he was like, how do you go out there and still do what you do? I was like, fear. Well, who should I fear?
yeah.
Like, who should I be afraid of? And then our hashtag this year is faith over fear. FOF
Mm.
25. And that sets the tone right there when you walk in. Like, I never experienced, well, for one, our practices are 6 a.m.
Oh, come on now. Yeah. I was up bright and early this morning.
6
Lift.
a.m. I'd be up at 5 a.m. So, like, they wake me up every morning. Like,
Mhm.
the way that we interact with each other, and it's just like, it's beautiful to watch. Like, I recommend, like, if you just want to watch a practice or anything pop in, like, there's so much energy and there's so much love there. Even though we're like, I wouldn't say dying, we're like freaking out of breath. We're
Yeah.
sweating. We're falling to the floor. We're
Yeah.
laughing about it. But it's really enjoyable. And it's really like, why would you not do what you love, even if it scares you? You have
Yeah.
you have to like push yourself.
I know. I love that. So, what's a misconception people have?
Hmm. That you can do anything without warming up. You have to train yourself. Like mind muscle memory. Like for me, like cheering and doing gymnastics, acrobatics and tumbling is a mixture of both. Like you have
Yeah.
some gymnastics and you have cheerleaders. And then you also, my teammates are cheerleaders, gymnasts, power tumblers, all that. So, dang, can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah. What's what's a misconception people have about your sport?
Yeah, like you really have to have a background in it. And if you don't have a background in it, you can learn, but you have to be willing to learn. Like,
Okay.
if you don't have an open mind to it, it's not gonna happen. And if you don't believe in it before, like if you think you can see it, it's not gonna happen. If you can feel it and just trust yourself and trust your teammates, trust is a big thing with acro. Like
Yeah.
I need to know you gonna catch me, because I'm 12 feet in the air, twisting upside down, not seeing where I'm going. So I need to have
Yeah.
faith in you. And a lot of people think that they can just jump in and just do it. Like, learn piece by piece and be open. And progress is better than nothing.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Like 1% better every day. Like even
Yeah.
0.002% is still improvement. Like that's what I
Yeah.
have to tell myself to keep myself alive. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
you did this shot well, so you're fine. You know what I'm saying? So like it's
Yeah.
fair to say it's like not the most popular sport. What is the biggest challenge that comes with doing an underrepresented sport?
That people don't think it's a sport.
Mm.
Well, because they try to compare it to like all-star cheerleading and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's not a sport. I grew up my whole life defending, like, yes, we are a sport. Like, I'm an athlete.
Yeah,
But it's like, I don't even have to prove anything to you, because can you do what I do? And that can
exactly.
sound very blunt and that can sound very straightforward, but it's like, no, I'm not playing with you. I meant what I said. Like, it's a different type of grit, a different type of like earth to do what you do. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Because
sure.
a lot of people say soccer is just you put a ball down and you run and you try to put the ball in the back of the net. I was like, oh, okay, come do it. Come
Oh,
on,
yeah, no. It's
come
different. It's a
on, show me
technique.
something. Show me something. So like, nah, like I definitely get it. What advice do you have for those who partake in an underrepresented sport?
My advice is to trust yourself,
Mm.
and trust what you stand for, because you don't need everyone's opinion. Sometimes it's better to have a small village than a big village. There's too many
Yeah,
people that want to be in your ear and give you an input, but it really isn't necessary. Like, and when you hear people like try to diminish your sport, sometimes you just got to give them grace and be like, it's okay, it's
yeah,
fine.
you're
Because if you get
ignorant.
yourself worked, yeah, if you get yourself worked up, that's when the enemy starts to get in your ear and your head, and you start overthinking, and then that's when you believe it. Because if you're starting to think about it and then you say it out of your mouth, the power of the tongue, it's very powerful. So
Very powerful.
yeah.
Um, so before I get to the last question, what
Okay.
is one thing you want people to know when they hear your name? When they hear Alicia Moore, what do you want them to know about you? Like, yeah, that's her.
She's a fighter.
Come on,
She's a
come
fighter. Like, I had to fight. You
all my life
I
I had to
had to
fight.
fight. I had to fight to get here. But just to know that I'm passionate, I
Yeah,
love what I'm doing, and that I will fight until the end. Like even if I'm injured, and something that cheerleading taught me is that you fake it till you make it. That could be a good thing or
yeah,
a bad thing. But just to know that I'm having fun, and I'm not just doing this for myself. Like,
yeah.
I'm looking at my niece who is FaceTiming me to do a toe touch or a cartwheel, and knowing that she sees me in such a big position that I can't let her down. And
Exactly.
yeah, just being selfless. That's what I want
Yeah.
people to know. Like, when you see me perform, I'm gonna be on fire.
Yeah.
On fire, but it's really all God. Like, it just,
Yeah.
I just let go. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't think about people recording me, or I can't think about like, oh, what's this interview gonna be like? You gotta be present. I'm very present.
Oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
you genuinely have no idea. Every time I come on and have a conversation with other athletes, I take a bit of their story and I have to use it with mine because you
Yeah.
saying you have to be present in the moment. I have been struggling this season so far, being present in the moment, not putting pressure on my shoulders. I'm definitely like the type of person that like if I'm not performing well, I let my team down and I forget like my why sometimes. I forget my family is rooting for me back home. I forget that my teammates are looking up to me to just have fun and remind them that the sport is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a chance where you get to escape all the bad and all the drama and all the overwhelmingness and just be present in the moment. And for you to say that, man, like I don't think you even understand. I've needed that. I feel as though like I've just been put myself under so much pressure. So thank you so much for saying that. Literally, you have no idea. Okay. Our last question is
Yeah.
presented by our sponsor, Cricket Wireless. So shout out to Cricket, a proud supporter of HBCU culture and community. We love
Let's go.
Cricket. How has going to an HBCU influenced the person you are today?
Oh yeah, it influenced my style, my standards. Like once you start growing up and you realize that dang, like I really didn't even know nothing for real. And then you get to this HBCU and you meet so many walks of life, it softens your heart. Like
Literally.
going to HBCU, I don't regret it at all. I love Morgan State. Are there things that can be fixed with Morgan State? 100%. It can be fixed with every single coolness in the United States. You know, we're probably still working on that. But just to know when you go to HBCU that you will find your people or they will find you.
Yeah, you start walking a little different.
Like the networking, like it's just like it's everywhere. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to also collab. But I also would say when you're collabing, you're networking with people, be open to something you never thought about. Because most of the stuff, like even the mentorship that I have now, all started from being at this HBCU, knowing the right people, being myself, and now Ariel Chambers is my mentor.
Yeah,
and she hosted the Olympics.
Come on.
Like the opportunity, there's so many opportunities at HBCUs that a lot of people don't see because they're not reading emails, they're not talking to the right people, or they're not really standing on business. Yeah. And it's there. If closed mouths don't get fed.
Come on.
Closed mouths don't get fed. So I don't regret this decision at all.
Literally, you keep leaving me speechless, but thank you so much for joining me and sharing your experiences with us. I just want listeners to know that like your story is going to be one that people are going to remember, and I cannot wait for them to hear. Listeners, thanks for joining and tuning in. We've got to say goodbye to our last season of Echoes of the Yard, but it was a banger and it was a good one. Talking about HBCUs from all angles. So make sure you rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out on Echoes of the Yard.